Hey, I know it's taken me a really long time to respond to your video, but thanks for making me the response. You know, I really wasn't too surprised either on I knew that by putting myself out there and talking about my treatment on YouTube, I probably would get some people down talking methadone, and you know, calling me a junkie and blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's negativity everywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you go, you're going to have people being negative and talking shit. So, but you asked if it was, you know, a separate entity from any 12-step programs, and yes, it is. In 12-step programs, I mean, this is the first treatment I've ever been involved in. And I have read a little bit about 12-step programs, and I know that, like, the main thing that I've heard about them is they're focused on, like, God or having a higher power in your life. And really, I'm not a religious person, and I just didn't think that that was going to be something that would work for me. And I've tried to go cold turkey off this shit, and the sickness and the withdrawal is a living hell that you just can't, I mean, unless you've gone through it, I really can't. I mean, I can tell you, yes, it's a living hell, but you can't even fathom the sickness that goes with withdrawing from opiates. So 12-step programs, I guess they have, I'm going to fix this camera a little bit. They don't allow people on methadone into these programs because you have to be, like, completely clean off of everything, and they consider methadone just like a replacement. So yeah, it's not really included in any 12-step programs. The reason I started talking about this online is because there is such a stigma with methadone, and I really, really want people to understand that it can be a really good thing for people. Yes, it can be a really horrible thing too. I guess in the States they have, like, a really, really big, well, I mean, of course in Canada too, there's a big problem with people abusing methadone and using it in the wrong way. But it seems that in the States it's a lot easier to abuse it. I mean, look at Anna Nicole Smith. I guess when you're a celebrity, it's a lot easier to get your hands on shit. But, you know, there's so many safeguards here in Canada, and at least the clinic I go to, that I mean, you can't really sell your doses without being caught, or abuse it in a way without being caught. So, I guess the only way that it could be abused is if you were still using while you're on it. And I know that there are a lot of people that do that just kind of use it as something to have if they don't have money to get high, you know, and that's shitty, but that's, I mean, like I said, in every aspect of life, there is negativity in people that are going to try and abuse the system. You said that you only knew one person who was actually on methadone, and she died, and she was a heroin addict. I mean, that's one thing that people have to understand too, that if you're going to continue using while on methadone, there is a really high risk of overdose. And that's because methadone blocks the receptors in your brain. Like, it blocks you from getting high. So people who are still using have to use more and more and more to actually get the feeling that they were getting before they were using methadone. And that's why there's such a high risk of overdose, because, I mean, you may not be feeling high, but the drugs are still in your system, right? So, and, you know, I chose methadone because there really wasn't any other option for me. I tried going cold turkey hundreds of times, and like I said before in some of my videos, like, yes, I would make it sometimes, maybe for a year, maybe for 2 months, but I always went back. And then the last kind of bout that I had with it was, I mean, I tried going cold turkey several times and I couldn't do it. Methadone broke that cycle for me of waking up sick, doing whatever I can to get high. Because like when you're sick like that, your whole life, your whole being, your whole everything is about finding your fix to not be sick, you know? In the end, it wasn't even about getting high anymore. It was about just being okay, not being sick, you know? I can only describe it as like the worst flu you could ever possibly imagine times 10. And so, you know, methadone broke that cycle for me of living in a drug life, and it helped me be able to get my life together again and actually work and be productive and not have my whole life and my whole being, my whole thought process on drugs and where my next fix was going to come from and how I was going to stay high and not be sick. So it really has worked for me. There's been a lot of comments that I've been getting about trying Suboxone or something like that. Those are drugs that I guess are an alternative to methadone. I've read a lot about them. They're not available in Canada yet, so I don't have that option. And people are all, you know, worried, saying, oh, methadone's so addictive, it's so hard to get off of, but really, I don't see it that way. And I guess if I was using it to get high, it would be a problem, but I'm not. So anyway, I just wanted to, you know, answer some of your questions, and thank you for your comment. How did your art show go? You haven't really talked about that. So, you know, I have been watching videos even if I haven't been making them. But is it still up? Did you sell anything? How did it go? Did you get, you know, what kind of feedback did you get? All that kind of jazz. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about, like I had said earlier, there's such a stigma about methadone, and there's so many stupid stories I hear. Now, I work in for a home care. I'm a home support worker. I go into people's houses with disabilities or elderly people and help them just maintain a safe living environment at home to be able to stay at home and not live in an institution. And I went to a lady's house last night to help her get ready for bed, and she had some friends over. They were having Chinese food, and there was one of her friends was like one of those real loudmouth, I know everything kind of people, and she was talking about how she had another home worker come into her house because she's got cancer or something, and the girl was telling her about the methadone clinics here and how people, when they get their drink, they have to stay at the clinic for half an hour after because they've been going out and regurgitating the methadone and selling it. And of course I don't talk about the fact that I'm on methadone with my clients because, well, for obvious reasons. But it just blew my mind that people could actually think that that's true. Like, I mean, can we be a little more realistic, please? As if, you know, it's just so out there that I really I did say, like, I can't see that being true. How could they throw up their methadone and sell it without having, like, I don't mean to be gross, but like bile and all the rest of that. It's just so out there. There's so many stories, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this on YouTube. But it looks like my time is almost up. So again, thanks for your comment, your video response, and yeah, I want to know how your show went. So let us know. Okay, thanks. Bye.